Hi, in this video I'm going to talk about how I modeled, rigged and animated my Android robot. Now before I start talking about each stage individually of how I made the project, I'm going to talk on what the actual animation is going to be. Basically I'm animating my Android robot to walk along a line, and then when he comes up to a table with a box on top of it, he's going to knock it over, and what happens next is the word Android slides out onto the table along with an ice cream sandwich, a few jelly beans and a few lollipops to symbolize like the Android updates, like update lollipop and jelly bean and ice cream sandwich. Before I get started talking about how I made my animation, the structure of how I'm going to do this is I'm going to give a very brief explanation on how I did each thing, and then I'm going to speed up the video so you can see it all a lot quicker because it's quite a lot of footage. The next stage of my 3ds Max project is to rig my android robot's body up to either a bone structure or some sort of skeleton structure. Now for this video, now for this project, I used a cat rig structure, or a cat parent structure, and I used a base human structure. Now throughout this video you can see me lining up and reshaping the skeleton to fit in with my robot, and then further on you can see me linking the robot's body parts to the skeleton body parts, so when I give the skeleton a bit of motion, a bit of animation, it's going to move the robot's arms in tandem with it. When it came time to animate my robot with the cat rig, it's not very difficult because I actually have an option for walking. Now, it can either be walking in place, which is kind of useless for animating, or walking on a line. And what I did was I drew a line on my plane, on my plane from one end to the other where I was going to get him to walk. And I chose the option in the cat rig structure to walk on a line, and basically you just connect the cat rig to the line, and then at the start of the timeline, you put him at the beginning of the line, and then you move the timeline up to the whenever your animation is ended, and you auto key it, and then you manually move your the android robot to the end of the line, or wherever you want to stop it. What this does is it what this does is the walking animation goes in tandem with it going along the line, so it makes it look like it's walking in any direction. Now in this stage I'm going to talk about making the secondary objects. Very simple to do. I have numerous objects. First I made the table, which is simple rectangle box, just made skinnier to do the table. Then I did four more rectangles for the legs, and used the edge select tool and selected the bottom one and shrunk it down so it would create a slanting effect, which just makes the legs look a bit more realistic. Then next I just made a simple cube or box, use the edge select tool, selected the top part of it and just deleted it so the box can be now filled with objects. The next thing I did was I made the Android text, just a simple text tool, and then I selected it, used the bevel tool to make it 3D. Very simple. The next object I made was was the Android. The next object after that I made was the ice cream sandwich. Very simple again. Got a cylinder. I got a rectangle, made it white for the ice cream part of it. Then got two more rectangles, made them darkish brown for the wafers of it. And what I did next is I used the same trick as I did on the Android's head. I got a bunch of cylinders, like three cylinders for each row, and then copied them to make like numerous rows. Then I moved all of them like through the brownish rectangles, and then I made the rectangles pro boolean, and then just used the extrude tool to chop all the shapes out of the um the brown rectangles. The next object I made was the lollipops. Extremely simple, just made a normal sphere, whatever color you want to choose for. And then I just used a cylinder and then I put it right underneath it and then linked them. Then for the jelly beans, I just modified a circle with the bend tool pretty much. This stage of the project is where I actually animate the box being knocked over and the objects falling and tumbling out onto the table. Now, how I did this is I just made all the objects first, which I've talked about before. Then I placed the objects in the box, and then I linked them to the box. So when the box moves, they stay in they stay in their position in the box, but they move with it. And then very simple to do, animating the rest of the objects falling out. When it's time for them to fall out, I just press the auto key button, and then like every few frames I would move them and rotate them to give them like a little tumbling effect, apart from the Android text. And I just did that every few frames, until, until they were on the table, in the position I wanted them in. The next thing I did was make a plane underneath my robot and the table and everything else. Gave it a texture of water marble. I haven't made up my mind yet as I'm recording this. And then just gave the robot itself an actual texture just to make it look a bit nicer. And then what I did next was I just threw in a bit of camera work to make the all around animation to look a lot nicer. Just one more quick thing before I end this making of video. Now as you notice, I don't have a portion captured of me animating the actual robot's arms. Because when I did this, I actually forgot to record it, and well, it's not that big a portion of the video. It's rather minute, but still, basically, it's just me auto keying at certain intervals at the timeline to make it look like he's pushing the box. Um, Now this is the end of my video, and I thank you very much for watching it all, if you did. And I look forward to continuing to build upon my 3ds Max and animation learning already. Goodbye.